What's up, guys? It's Stephen Freeborn here, and I want to talk to you guys about a topic that I've probably made at least 100 pieces of content around over the last, 2 to 3 years. But it's so important that I think it bears repeating quite often and quite frequently. Not only because it's important, but also because it'll probably help you. I put this post on my Instagram, which is at Stephen.Freeborn, basically saying that the way to lose weight is you don't start with changing everything at once, which is kind of like what everyone does. I'm sure you have a friend or a family member who always is starting some diet every 2 to 3 months. That's not the way to do it. You don't just clean out your shelves, buy all new food, and then just hit the ground running. That's not really the successful way to achieve your physique or your performance related goals. The way you really lose weight, or the way you make any real sustainable, long-lasting change in your physique or your performance, is to focus on small things one at a time and do those small things consistently for a long period of time, and then slowly start to stack those small changes together over an even longer period of time. That adds up to long-term sustainable change. It's going to give you the physique or the performance you want in a manageable and sustainable way, which is what you want, because the results are predicated on what you did to get the results. So the minute your process changes, the minute the thing that you were doing to get the result changes, the result is going to, in some way, shape, or form, change. Not completely. It's not like you're going to lose everything you've worked for, but it's just going to slowly drift away, or it's going to slowly drift back to center where you started. That's what happens with these people we know. We all have them in our lives who do a diet for a month, they lose 10, 15 pounds, then they kind of do whatever the fuck they want for the next 3, and then you hear them talking again about, well, I'm going to do the Whole30, or I'm going to go no carb or keto for the next month. And they just repeat that cycle, and they end up taking one step forward and then one step back, which leaves them nowhere, versus if in a 5-year period you focused on changing one thing every quarter and sticking with that one thing and then stacking those things over 5 years, you'd have some serious changes happen. 20 changes you could make and sustainably keep and stack together to give you the thing you want. The true nature of change is, and this is something it's definitely a deeper topic, but it's super important to understand, is that for something to really become long-term and sustainable, like exercising, like eating a certain way, it truly has to be somewhat integrated into your identity. It has to become sort of a part of your culture as a person, a part of your beliefs and your value system. The best way to describe it to people is it has to become something that you just do. It's like brushing your teeth. That is the point you want to get with a habit or a new behavior before you start taking on another one. I know that seems crazy, and you're like, well, but wait, I can surely manage doing 3 or 4 things. And while I don't doubt that, my experience and the experience of a lot of people has led to the understanding that those efforts often fail. They feel manageable and doable in the beginning, and then they lead to burnout very quickly. So focus on one thing. It's going to feel super easy. On a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being super easy, 10 being hard, I imagine that taking on one small habit, eating breakfast maybe is where you're starting. I don't know, everyone's different, but that may feel like a 1 on that scale. That's okay. Don't feel the need to make it any harder. Focus on that. Focus on that until eating breakfast becomes just something that you do. You don't have a day where you don't eat breakfast. That's how I feel about exercise personally. Exercise is just something that I do. I don't ever consider not doing it. It's like brushing my teeth. It's not that I have a compulsion or an addiction to it. It's just part of who I am as a person, part of my beliefs, part of my values. Exercise, movement, mobility, strength, endurance, these things are important to me as a person. I think they're important to my life. So I do them every day. And that's eventually where you want to try to stack things and work on things till they get to that point, and then begin layering another one on. It's not sexy. It sounds super boring, way too easy. It's got to be difficult. I've got to do some kind of insane, extreme diet and exercise program to make this happen. But you don't, because you're playing the long game. You have many, many years to work on this. So start with 1 or 2 things. Actually, start with one thing, not 1 or 2, one thing. And work on that thing every day for a long period of time until it becomes something that you do. Then keep that going and stack something else on it. I know, it's not sexy. It sounds painfully slow, and it may be. But honestly, it's the way that's going to get you. It's going to get you ahead. You're not going to take 1 step forward, 1 step back. You're going to be taking small steps forward every day, every week, every year. And then in 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years time, you're going to be way further ahead than what you thought you were. And don't be misled. People that are already there, people who are in good shape or they're where you want to be as far as their physique or their performance, don't let them fool you. That did not happen in a year. It didn't happen in 26 weeks. It took many years for them to get that. They had to learn how to exercise, how to lift weights, how to eat, how to diet, what amount of water to drink for themselves. They had to tweak and find that stuff and experiment, and it took them many years to get to the point at which they are. So keep that in mind. It's supposed to be a slow, steady journey. That's what always wins. I hope this helps. Let me know if you guys have questions. Send me an email, steven@freeborntrainingsystems.com, or find me on any of the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Just search my name, Steven Freeborn. But until next time, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.